she's a little bit frayed, she's a little bit frazzled. She definitely needs some kind of faja to kind of, you know, to shape her up. I swear this color is going on like butter. Like butter. Clean up on aisle 8. Hey guys, what is up? What's going on? It's Ashley and welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, what I'm going to be doing is a full-on review slash eye toot on the brand new Soft Glam palette by Anastasia. Like, can we just take a moment? When I saw that this was coming out on Trend Mood, I nearly died because the color palette is beautiful. It's amazing. It's mesmerizing. Like, do I need to say more? Granted, some of the shades in this palette were already singles by ABH, but now that they're all in one palette, I'm just like shook. So if you guys are excited for this video, don't forget to press that subscribe button, and also don't forget to turn on your notifications because for some reason YouTube isn't, you know, notifying people in chronological order anymore. So be sure you guys check that out. Turn on your post notifications so that way you guys are notified anytime I upload a new video, which fun fact is 2 times a week, every single week. And without further ado guys, let's go ahead and hop into the look. Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is an eyeshadow tutorial on the brand new Soft Glam shadow palette by Anastasia of Beverly Hills. I'm super excited about this palette. I also have the new Amrezy or Amrezy highlighter. So I'm going to be playing with those things in today's video. I did skip out on the bronzers just because I feel like bronzers are very particular and they're not in store as of yet. So I didn't want to order bronzers online. When they do come in store, I will do kind of like a first impressions with a bunch of different brands. But for today, I am going to be working with the Soft Glam shadow palette, which is going to be kind of like the start of the show. You guys know. So first and foremost, I am going to prime my eyelids with a little bit of the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This one is in the shade Medium 1 Custard. You guys know, tried and true. It's what I always use to prime my eyelids. So I am just going to take that on a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit of it all over my lids. Now, keep in mind, I only have my primer and my foundation on. I don't have anything else on my face. I don't have concealer or anything like that. So we do get fallout in this eye too. It's completely okay. We can kind of clean that up before we go in with powders and concealers and stuff like that. All right, so eyelids are primed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit so that way you guys can see a little bit up close and personal as it relates to blending. If the eyeshadows are pigmented, patchy, you guys know. Before we begin, this is Soft Glam right here. It's that same soft packaging as Modern Renaissance, Subculture, Prism. It's super duper pretty. When you open it up, you do get a full-size mirror, which you guys know I love and appreciate. You also get a dual-ended brush. Now, I do think that these brushes by ABH are very, very good quality. So you have a flat shader brush on one end, and then you have a blending brush on the opposite end. I'm actually going to try to use this brush in this look.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Now, the first shade I'm going to use in this palette is this one right up here in the corner. This one is called Tempera. It's a nice bone colored shadow. I'm going to take that on the dual-ended brush that came in the palette, and I'm going to use it to set down that concealer. It's going to create a nice thin layer of shadow for my transition color and my other shadows to lay on top of, so that way they don't get patchy or anything like that. You feel me? So I'm going to take it on that fluffy brush. Ooh. And we do have a little bit of pickup in the pan, but that's completely okay. I'm just going to take this and I am just going to run it all over my eyelids to set down that concealer. The next shade I'm going to take in the palette is this one right here. This one is called Orange Soda, which is kind of like a popsicle color. And I am going to take that on my Sigma E40 blending brush. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use it as my transition color. And I'm going to rock it back and forth in my crease. Now, I start from outer corner and then I work my way to the inner corner. You can also go in big circular motions. This step doesn't have to be like super duper precise. It's definitely meant to be a little bit more on the messy side. You just want to really get it into the socket. I want to say the first time I used this shade in particular was when Anastasia launched the Lavish palette. And if you guys have been following my channel for a minute, then you know the Lavish palette was my jam. It literally was. I probably use it in like every single video. So I love that this color has just a faint hint. What? I love that this color has kind of like a faint hint of color. It's not too overpowering. It literally is the perfect color to kind of stick as a transition color in my opinion. So I'm just taking this and I'm going in big circular motions towards the outer V right here, and then I'm just rocking it from outer to inner corner. So now that we have the shade Orange Soda blended all up in the crease, I'm gonna go in with a Sigma E25 blending brush, and I'm gonna pick up the shade right here. The shade is called Burnt Orange, and I'm gonna take that and I'm really just going to pack it and or stamp it on the very outer portion of my lid. So I'm gonna take it right here and I'm really just going to pack this color to really just deepen up and give the outer V a little bit of dimension. Now keep in mind, I'm sticking it in the outer V and I'm also sticking it in the crease, but I'm not taking it above that transition color. So I'm really just keeping it right up in this area. Once I have the color placed, I'm just gonna take my brush and I'm just gonna wiggle it back and forth to really just blend and buff out that color, so that way it's not patchy or anything like that. And I will say that the shadows blend out like a dream, very, very comparable to Modern Renaissance by ABH. So far, I'm not having any issues with fallout or anything like that. You guys know Subculture was a complete miss, and you know I'm not getting the same vibe. So that definitely makes me happy. So once I have that color packed on the outer V on both eyes, I'm going to take my Sigma E40 blending brush and I'm just going to take this alongside of the edges just to ensure that everything is blended. And if I need to pick up a little bit of burnt orange, I will, but I'm not trying to really intensify all that much. I just want to ensure that there are no harsh edges and there's a nice seamless blend from my crease all the way up to my brow bone. All right, so far things are looking pretty good, pretty even, pretty blended. I'm getting very minimal fallout. I'm just getting fallout right here towards the very outer corner, but I feel like that's pretty normal with ABH palettes. I'm now gonna go in with this next shade. The shade right here is called Sienna, which honestly is a staple by ABH. I'm gonna take it on that same Sigma E25, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pack it on the very outer V, but I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit further out. Things are getting a little bit on the messy side, but I am going to cut my crease. I put a little bit of concealer on the very back of my hand. I'm going to take it on a flat concealer brush. This one's just by Revlon. And I'm going to carve out my lid space very quickly. You can use whatever concealer you want. I really love to use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD concealer just because I find that it's very thin and it doesn't get weird on my eyelid. But again, use whatever you want. I'm just gonna take a clean brush and ensure that I buff out the edges of that concealer. All right, things are looking pretty good, pretty good. Now that I have a small portion of lid space carved out, I'm now gonna go in with my next color. I'm gonna pick up the shade right here in the palette. This one is called Glistening. It's a really pretty kind of like gold champagne color, but it's not like a light champagne. It's definitely more of a golden, and I'm going to take that on a cream color brush by Sigma. This is the E58, and I'm going to pop this in the very inner corner. Ooh, wow, this color is extremely pretty, and I didn't even wet my brush. I'm going to switch brushes to this concealer brush by Anastasia because I really want a sharp edge right here, so I am going to use this to kind of just sharpen up this color. Just like so. Just like that. Super pretty. I don't even know how to describe this color, but it's gorgeous. Super, super gorgeous. All right, so I think that's looking pretty good. The next shade I'm gonna take is this one right here. This one is called Rose Pink. And what I'm actually gonna do with this is I'm gonna apply it right next to the shade called Glistening, like literally right next to it. So I'm gonna pop her like right here. Like that. Oop, and I am getting a little bit of fallout with this. But I'm just gonna take it and really just blend it into that champagne color as best as I can. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to wet this shade just so that way I don't get any more fallout, because as you can see, I'm definitely getting quite a bit of fallout, and I want to say it's because the shadow is completely dry. So I'm going to use some MAC Fix Plus. I'm going to spray my brush so that way I can really get more of a foiled effect with the shadow. Now I'm going to take a little bit of glistening and I'm just going to buff it into that rose pink, just so that way there is a seamless transition from that glistening shade to the rose pink shade to the matte shade. That makes sense. I know y'all are following. Y'all are following. I am all here for this look. Next thing I'm going to do is go in with this shade right here. This one is called a Mulberry, which is a rich kind of cranberry shade. I'm really excited. I am going to take it on this brush right here, which is my blending E36 by Sigma. And what I'm actually going to do with this shade is I'm going to focus it right here, closest to the base of my lash line. And I am just going to take it back and forth, and I'm slowly going to deepen up this outer V right here. I'm also going to pick up a little bit of this shade right here called Noir, which is a very rich black shade. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take it on that blending E36, and I'm just going to press it right here closest to the lash line. Just adding a little bit of black, and I am just going to feather it upwards. So as you guys can see, I'm definitely getting a little bit more fallout the more and more I go ahead and layer these colors on top of each other, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I know things are looking pretty messy, especially towards this outer V right here. So I'm going to take a makeup wipe, and I'm just going to go ahead and clean up on aisle 8. Aisle 8. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup right here. I'm gonna take a makeup wipe, and I am just gonna sharpen up the edge a little bit. Now do keep in mind I did not apply concealer or anything like that, so it's completely okay for me to go in with the makeup wipe right here. So it's looking pretty decent. So it's at this point in every single makeup tutorial where I'll look at the overall look, and I'll compare both sides, and I'll know whether or not I need to continue blending. So this side right here, it looks like it just needs a little bit more blending than this side. This side definitely looks like it's blended, it's seamless, there's really no harsh edges above the crease, whereas this side I can kind of see some harsh situations. So I am going to go in with this brush right here. This is by e.l.f. It's very, very comparable to a Morphe M433 or a Sigma E25. So hey e.l.f., I see you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a clean one of these, and I'm just going to go back and forth to really just buff and blend out the shadow above the crease. We really want it to be nice. We want it to be blended. We want it to be seamless. So just going back and forth to really just buff out this area. So I can definitely say that the blending on this side is pretty comparable to the blending on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some wing liner, mascara, lashes, concealer. Then I'll be right back, and we'll go ahead and finish off the rest of the look. I went ahead and put on liner, lashes, I powdered my face, concealed, added bronzer. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the very lower lash line. So I am going to take my flat definer brush by Sigma. And the first shade I'm going to take is a shade right here called Burnt Orange, so that guy. And I'm going to just take this and rock this on my very lower lash line, and I'm really going to push it closest to this lash line right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and smudge it. Now that I have Burnt Orange blended all up on my lower lash line, I'm going to pick up the shade called Sienna, and I'm going to focus this closest to the very outer V, and I'm really just going to buff it back and forth. Like I said, I am just focusing this right here on that outer V. The next shade I'm going to take is this one right here, which is a black shade called Noir. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do the same exact thing, except I'm going to connect it to this black liner right here, so that way everything just blends very nicely. All right, perfect. Now that my eyes are done, it's time to move on to the highlighter, which is the Amrezy highlighter right here. I will be using this brush. This brush is also by Anastasia. I want to say it's the A something. I'm going to link it down below, but as you can see, she's a little bit frayed. She's a little bit frazzled. She definitely needs some kind of faja to kind of, you know, to shape her up, but we're still going to use her anyways because she is one of my absolute favorite brushes for highlight. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of the Amrezy highlighter, and I am just going to pop it on. Girl. At this point, I'm bathing in it. I'm bathing in my highlighter. All right, and just like that, this is a look. What do you guys think? You know, I try to do that very gracefully, but I accidentally like inhaled the Fix Plus, the Lavender Fix Plus, and you know, it just wasn't the business. This is the completed look. What do you guys think of it in the comments down below? In case any of you guys were wondering, I am using the Urban Decay Fuel lipstick that came out with their Naked Heat collection. It is like bomb.com. Like, do you guys see that color? Probably one of my favorite nude lipsticks. And I'm also wearing the Too Faced Glossy Lip Injection. This one is in the shade Spice Girl. So these two together have been my go-to nude lip combo as of lately. But all in all, I really did love the Soft Glam Shadow Palette by Anastasia. I didn't experience the same thing I experienced with the Subculture palette, not at all. I really love the pigmentation. I think they're super creamy, buildable, blendable. I definitely think that this will replace Modern Renaissance for me, just because I feel like I would gravitate towards these colors a lot more than I would those in the Modern Renaissance. That one is very much red. This one is very much warm and just a little bit more wearable, if you know what I mean. I really also love the M3z Highlighter. I'm probably gonna pick up a backup of this just because she is like blinding, Do you see this? Like, it's on another level. Like, it truly is. She's wet. I can't even deal. If you guys haven't picked up this highlighter, I definitely recommend that you snag it before it sells out. Yeah, I think I'm done raving about these products. So if you guys want me to do more tutorials with the Soft Glam palette, be sure to smash that like button so that way I know. And with that, guys, I don't think I have anything else to say except I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.